Hello, this is Kent Kruger, Biological Channel. I'm not quite drunk yet, but I'm getting there. And in this series of 155 days of torture, I really don't know where this will appear, but I want to tell this story now while I still have I don't know why I'm doing that. It's plenty warm tonight. It's only about 50 degrees. When I was framed by Carla Santero, who had the good sense later to blow her brains out badly, they asked my best friend to be her guardian and conservator, and he told the judge, "Your Honor, I can do my professional duty and preserve her according to her DNR, etc. But since I represented Thomas Kent Kruger when she framed him, it just wouldn't look right on paper. So I think you better get somebody else. This is all about how I met Bruno Shimek, which just this evening I think we've patched everything up. We've only had one bump in the road in 22 years of friendship, and I'm his only friend that started out as one of his criminal clients. So let me get to it. I'd already told you in previous episodes about one Norb Mankey, correct name Norbert Mankiewicz, Jew boy in disguise. Like somebody like me, a real Jew, ain't gonna recognize a Jewish name. And Mankiewicz had messed up, had transcribed all of my writs, the 4 writs I had before the court. You will find me talking about them in previous episodes. And one day in court, actually, the minute that Norbert Mankiewicz came into the consultation cell, which is next to the guard room, which is really outside of the one-man cell it's not in view of, he sat down, and the first thing he said was, "They've offered you a plea deal." And I said, "Don't you want to hear my side of the story?" And that's when I knew, and later discovered through investigation, that in many states they pay public defenders an extra hour if they can get the defendant to cop a plea within the first hour. And under this circumstance, all my property and my money were in the control of a trustee who's been long dead now. But right then I knew that there was something wrong with Norbert Mankiewicz, because he was didn't even want to hear whatever the real side of the story, which is I was framed by a crooked lesbian cop who married a cop in her old age as an heiress, etc., and became a cop. Didn't even go to the cop academy until she was like 38 or something. Had already by then been fired by 3 police departments for her misconduct, lost a wrongful termination suit proving that she belonged in federal prison, had already scared all my neighbors by admitting that she had framed every piece of white trash, spick, or niggers that she had ever put in prison. So this is how I met Bruno Shimek. After one day in morning in court, I told Norbert Mankiewicz, I'm not going to call him by his so-called legal name, I told Norbert, either you withdraw or I file a motion to discharge you. And he started shaking right there in front of Judge Rufino. This is the early morning court that's not seen by anybody. It's only attorneys and judges and inmates. It's not open to the public. It starts at 7:45, 8 a.m. at the latest. And he says, okay, but I feel, what did he say? He said, I feel okay about myself or whatever. I said, I don't care. Just withdraw. And he did. And I had to wait because, according to the papers, I didn't have the money, and I didn't want to have the money because I can withstand torture. I wasn't going to play into the system. I wasn't going to hire some outside attorney for $150,000, put my property into hock. I decided to let them pay for it. And so, by about February of 1997, they finally sent me out. I'll get back to talking about the fact that I almost committed suicide in December of 1996. Maybe in the next episode, but this is all about me meeting Bruno Shimek, who is still, to this day, one of my most faithful friends. You can count on Bruno. So they finally told me, you have a new defender. And they brought me out of the cell, and I think we were both a little shocked. This is exactly how it went. I had already, because I had many manila folders in my stack of papers, etc., as I've told you in previous episodes, and actually I had Sherry Bolkenstein. I won't say her married name because Sherry's a nut job. But one thing she did good was she got me arrested in that very same jail for possession of marijuana, which I said, Sherry, I'm in here under fake, get them to arrest me so I can try to get it to trial and get to the Supreme Court for medical marijuana. But she had got the nurses to get me my sunglasses, which were dark amber aviator, not in the real extreme, etc. And I've been taking manila folders, and if you fold them just right, up in the back you can fold them up so you can lay down, and in the middle you fold them and you tear a hole to fit over your head so that you have a brim to keep that blinking, flickering light off of you, and so I've got less than 5 or 6 minutes here. So one day they told me, your new attorney's arrived, and I went into the room that was observed by guards, and I even mentioned to Bruno, I said, how do you know we're not being listened to right now? And actually, he said, oh, they're not, they can't. Come on, Bruno, I know better. They listen to everything. That speaker is in and out. The speaker is there so you can, because in talking to Bruno later, Bruno is now 53, something like that, 54. Never been in a fight in his whole life. And he's totally fearless. That's one of the reasons he's my friend. And, but anyway, Bruno, they brought me in and set me down, and Bruno came into the room, and he had been from some other case. He never carries a briefcase. He only carries like a folder. That's it. If Bruno like me, if he can't keep it in his head, it's not worth remembering. It's all those loser lawyers always carried these 50-pound briefcases everywhere they went, these overpriced Italian leather-made, but not Bruno. Just a manila folder with just the essentials and his memory. And Bruno came in, and this is really about Bruno. I'm sitting there, I got my feet propped up, wearing those orange Chinese-made sandals made out of recycled American crap, that orange polyester and shit like that. And I got this weird manila folder hat on I made myself, and sunglasses. And Bruno, on his way up the stairs, he didn't take the elevator. Bruno's tried to and been in shape almost all his life, and at that point had not even taken a freaking vacation for 9 years since he started the practice of criminal defense. And he sat down, and he actually, when he came in the room, he was sucking on a lollipop, like Telly Savalas and stuff, which told me right then he wasn't a smoker, in which me and almost every guard and almost every prisoner that I knew were tobacco addicts. But that told me right off the bat a lot about Bruno. He wasn't addicted to anything except the practice of law and wanting. He sat down and we talked and stuff, and I told him about Norm Mankiewicz and what I had with him, and then he listened. He actually listened when in most states, which may include Texas, they pay public defenders an extra hour if you can get them to cop a plea in the first hour. But Bruno was never into the copping of pleas until recently, and so on, because he wasn't into, because he gets paid that, he wasn't into that. Recently he's, because he knows his clients are absolutely guilty, but because of his power that he's gained through the courts, he can get them incredible plea deals and get them off with time served and a new set of clothes and get the hell out. But the first time I met Bruno Shimek, we got across that I had been in many battles and fought many battles, and he had never had a fight in his entire life except outside of court. Never been in a fist fight. And hard-working guy. And the fact that he would enter a room with me closed when I had been tortured and told him, he knew. And he's done this 1,000 times. He's entered these locked rooms with people like me who are totally lethal, and he's not afraid of us. Bruno, I think your middle name's Alan Shimek. I love you because you're absolutely fearless, just like me, and we're still friends. 22 years later, I'm the only friend you have that started out as a client, and we won one of the biggest cases ever in Texas history after I was tortured for 155 days in one man cell number 3. This is how I met Bruno Shimek. I was sitting there with my weird manila hat and sunglasses right near the guard observational room, and Bruno came in sucking on one of those round lollipop things and proved to me that he wasn't afraid of me. And if you're not afraid of me, you got some balls. That's all I'm saying. If you meet me if you're in a closed room, locked room with me, and you're not afraid of me, you got some balls.